It's now the time for member statements. I recognize the member for Scarborough-Agincourt.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The recent meeting between Pope Leo XIV and the Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew is not only a religious and a spiritual milestone, but also an emblem of the values that resonate strongly with Canadian society. The occasion underscored the universal need for peace, dialogue, and the protection of fundamental human rights and freedoms, values that are steeped into Canada's social fabric. During his journey, Pope Leo also met with Sahak II, the Armenian Patriarch of Constantinople, and traveled to Lebanon to advocate for peace throughout the Middle East and to emphasize the necessity of religious freedom for all, regardless of their faith. A key part of Canada's identity is its strong support for religious, cultural, and linguistic diversity, as well as the protection of human rights. These values should guide Canada's decision at home and its actions around the world. The example set by the Pope and the Ecumenical Patriarch serve as a beacon for all nations to nurture service and sacrifice in pursuit of more harmonious society. In this spirit, all Canadians, and especially those of Catholic and Orthodox heritage, celebrated this historic event, reflecting the shared hope for lasting peace and understanding. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Member statements. I recognize the member for London West.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, the holidays are upon us, but for many in our community, the festive season brings more worry than joy. That's why I am so grateful for the efforts of Londoners to support those in need. Every year, the Hyde Park Lions Club and Hyde Park BIA partner with sponsors like Oxford Dodge to host the Hyde Park Santa Claus Parade, collecting essential food items for our community. The Old South Community Organization, OSCO, organizes its annual Christmas in the Village and tree sale to raise thousands of dollars for local causes. I want to thank the local faith communities that host free meals and collect donated food, like Springbank Catholic, a family of churches, St. Michael and All Angels Anglican Church, and Byron United Church, or the Muslim Soup Kitchen, the Halal Food Bank, and the Guru Nanak Mission Society. I want to recognize the local businesses that offer drop-off locations for the Business Cares Food Drive or the BCG London Coats for Kids, and the countless nonprofits that provide such vital supports, like Northwest London Resource Centre, the London Food Bank, Arcade, Mission Services, Salvation Army, Lifespin, the list goes on. These organizations, their volunteers, donors, and staff are making the holidays just a little bit brighter for those who are struggling. Let's support their efforts. And to all residents of London West, best wishes for a safe and happy holiday season. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Member statements. I recognize the member for Etobicoke Lakeshore.
Thank you, Speaker. Today I speak to an important report by the Ontario Ombudsman titled Lost in Transition. It highlights a crisis of care for adults with dual diagnosis, those with both developmental disability and mental health conditions. The complexity leads to no other option than long stays in hospital, or sadly, dysregulation can lead them to corrections versus care. There's nowhere else to be safely cared for, and it represents 36% of time that patients stay in hospitals for people waiting for care elsewhere. We can do better. The mental health partners, the mental health hospitals, and supportive housing providers showcased a solution recently at Queen's Park. Ricky, who'd stayed years in hospital, was transitioned to a purpose-built house with supportive care supports he needs to live a fulfilling life. Cross-government collaboration made it happen, and we need to spread this model across Ontario. It will be better for people like Ricky, and it will open up beds for overcrowded hospitals to provide care for others. Happy holidays to all in our community. Though holidays are a time of joy for most, for others it can be challenging for their mental health. If you or someone you care about, you are concerned for, please be sure that they're aware of 988, a 24/7 crisis line available to provide support.
Thank you. Member statements. I recognize the member for Brampton East.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Earlier, as we enter the holiday season, I want to take a moment to recognize community celebrations that bring families across Brampton together at this time of year. Recently, I had the opportunity to join residents at the annual Brampton Tree Lighting and Miracle on Main Street celebration presented in partnership with the Tigerjeet Singh Foundation and Peel Regional Police. This event has become a major tradition in our city, and it transforms downtown Brampton into a festive gathering place with live entertainment, family activities, and a strong sense of community spirit. Speaker, it was so wonderful to see so many residents come together and officially launch the holiday season. It's events like this that highlight the strength, diversity, and unity that define Brampton, and I'm proud to support initiatives that bring people together in a positive and welcoming environment. And as we move forward in the coming weeks, I want to wish all Ontarians, and especially the residents of Brampton, a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Just a reminder to all members as they come in to please be respectful of the fact that we're in the middle of member statements. Thank you. Member statements. I recognize the member for St. Catharines.
Thank you, Speaker. Last year, I introduced Motion 163 to stop corporate landlords from installing paid parking meters at rental housing properties, a predatory practice that forces tenants and their guests to pay outrageous fees simply to visit their own homes. In my community of St. Catharines, this issue is hitting people especially hard. Many of the tenants being targeted are seniors or individuals who rely on frequent PSW visits. Some PSWs have now stopped working in the buildings with paid visitors parking because they have to accumulate hundreds of dollars in parking tickets that come directly out of their paychecks. As a result, seniors are being cut off from the essential care they rely on to live safely and independently. And instead of strengthening protections for these renters, the government passed Bill 60, which fast-tracked evictions, weakening tenants' rights, and hand even more power to corporations and landlords already gouging vulnerable residents. 36% of households in St. Catharines are renters, more than one in three, facing rising housing costs and now additional financial penalties just to host visitors. This is totally unacceptable. This government must stop prioritizing corporate landlord profits and start standing up for seniors, families, workers, and renters.
Thank you. Member statements. I recognize the member for Perth Wellington.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, it's hard to believe that next Wednesday, December 10th, is the first anniversary of my private member's bill, the Growing Agritourism Act, receiving royal assent. The Growing Agritourism Act was, and I believe still, Speaker, the first piece of legislation that addressed limited liability for agritourism operators in all of Canada. Over the past year, I have heard directly from many agritourism operators across Ontario about the Growing Agritourism Act and how it is protecting their investments and helping them grow their businesses even more. It has provided the certainty for farm families to make significant investments in their operations and continues to provide peace of mind to those operators as they bring more visitors to their farms. I want to quote Darlene Downey. And she has said, as a both farm operator and chair of Agritourism Ontario, I've seen how the Growing Agritourism Act has empowered our sector. It gives operators the clarity to innovate and invest while ensuring families can enjoy safe, authentic farm experiences that celebrate Ontario agriculture. Speaker, as we approach the Christmas season, I encourage all members in this place to visit an agritourism operator in their local community. Speaker, I know that Megan, Arthur, and I look forward to going to a local Christmas tree farm this weekend to pick out our family Christmas tree. And Speaker, I encourage all members to support local this Christmas season. Thank you, Speaker.
Member statements. I recognize the member for Hamilton West, Ancaster Dundas.
There are thousands of children in southern Ontario living with progressive, life-limiting and life-ending illnesses, but it's shocking to learn that many Ontarian children and their families cannot access the care they deserve. Just like many other regions in Ontario, there is no dedicated pediatric hospice in Hamilton. But gratefully, folks are working hard to change that, to build a children's hospice in Hamilton that will embrace children's families and caregivers throughout their journey. Keaton's House, Paul Paletta Children's Hospice, will provide the care, comfort, and connection these families deserve close to home. Dr. Dave Lezecki from McMaster's Children's Hospital, a pediatric palliative care specialist, said, "There's a common misconception that pediatric palliative care is only for the dying. But really, it's about living fully right up to the last moment and supporting families to live fully and carry the memory of their loved one with them." CEO of Camp Care Network, Danielle Zuckett, said, "The impact of caring for a dying child has an inordinate long-term effect on their families. In fact, Keaton's House is named in honor of Danielle's young son. This will be a place where these young patients and their families can find joy, live well, and create lasting memories. I have shared in this house the loss of my sister Nancy Rose, and I know that a place like Keaton's House would have provided the comfort that my parents, my sisters, and my brother would have needed as we went through that terrible loss. So access to hospice and palliative care for children should be the highest aspiration of any community, and I know we will make this happen in Hamilton."
The member for Cambridge.
It's true, Speaker. Santa Claus was seen in Cambridge and Ayr, Ontario. And it fills me with a holiday spirit. Each year I'm grateful for the chance to take part in the Santa Claus parade in both Cambridge and Ayr. There are special moments for families, especially children. Nothing can dampen the joy of the holiday season, not even a thunderstorm. The Cambridge parade marched through the pouring rain. The resilience of our community really showed. The streets were filled with thousands of smiling faces and loud cheers. The Ayr parade, on the other hand, was a scene from a Christmas storybook. Fresh snow covered the streets, giving the whole event a magical atmosphere. We handed out candy and dog treats, candy canes, and seeing the kids' faces light up or a dog's tail wag faster kept me smiling the entire time. I want to thank my volunteers for braving the storm in Cambridge and making sure every child received a candy cane in Ayr, even if we had to slow down the parade a little bit. As we head towards the holiday season and the end of the session, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a very happy holiday season. Thank you, Speaker.
Member statements. I recognize the member for Peterborough-Kawartha.
Hey! Thank you, Speaker. Snow is falling, and as we just heard from my colleague from Cambridge, Santa Claus parades are well underway. And some of your neighbours have put up their Christmas decorations. So, what I'd like to talk about today is something that we refer to as the Griswold Awards, named after Clark Griswold from the movie Christmas Vacation. Every year at Christmas, we're asking people to nominate some of your neighbourhood who has gone above and beyond to spread Christmas cheer. You know the ones I'm talking about. Those homes where, when they turn on the lights, the Darlington nuclear plant groans and has to ask Niagara Falls to send more water over the falls just to produce enough electricity. Last year was our biggest year with a few hundred nominations. This year, I'm hoping for even more. I know that some of last year's nominees, there was a Facebook page dedicated to their efforts, and I fully expect some are going to up their game and do even more. In fact, I can think of one in particular who's already told me she's going to add to her display because she got some great ideas from the others on Facebook. If you decorate for Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or anything else, those count as well. What we're looking for is anyone who celebrates the festive season, decorates the outside of their home, and wants to include the entire neighborhood. Let us know who they are so that we can celebrate with them by giving them a certificate on behalf of the province of Ontario.
I recognize